Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to OTL Racing here on Twitch for round number 2 of our GT3 league here on ACC and PC. Tonight at Suzuka. Evening Sync, evening Katinka, evening, oh crikey, God knows how you say your name, Flo's boy. Close as I'm going to get. Hope you're all doing well. So yes, round number 2, just finishing off of practice. And then we will be straight into qualifying of our usual format, 15-minute qualifying and then a 60-minute race. So I think pretty much all drivers are in this evening, and a few can't make it. We've got 33 with us tonight, so we should still have some good racing. Very close times in the mid-pack, as always. And challenging circuit of Suzuka, especially an interesting start time as well. We're starting early in the morning, so we're starting at dawn. So it's just getting light. About 3 AM I think the game start time is going to be. So a green circuit at the beginning of the race. Going to be a little bit of a challenge. I think the AMG not particularly a fan of those greener circuit conditions. So it's going to be interesting to see how someone like Brunyara and Ryan Meenan handle their car right at the start of the race. You wishing. You wish. It's 8 PM here. I am not doing that. I like streaming, not till what would that be? 1 in the morning. Well, I could. So yes, looks like Mormon's got his fans in tonight, so we'll go on board with him. But he is sat in the pits, up in third at the moment though, in the qualifying session. Came 4th last week, so he's 4th in the standings. Obviously after the first race last week. Started the championship at Zolder. Ryan Meenan taking the win, so he's got off to a great start. Inside Max Motorworks driver, Kieran Sharp taking second. Unfortunately, being cost to win it looked like really by blue flag situations, being caught behind some back markers. They didn't quite handle the situation as he'd have hoped, and but that is racing. These things happen. Who else is on circuit? Let's go on board with Max Leonard in 6th. I had a bit of an issue last week. We found out why there were so many stop goes last week. Someone had accidentally just caught the pit entry board, knocked it over, and a few clearly hadn't practiced the pit entry and broke way too late. So it sucks, but that happens. We've had it happen before. That's why you want to practice the pit entrance. I'm sure a few of them probably have done this week. You would hope so anyway. Much appreciated. Can you tell us something, Suzuka? I'm not familiar with the track. Do you watch? I'll do it again. I hope not. I really, really do hope not. Great circuit, owned by Honda. So, I don't actually know if we've got any Hondas in this league at all. But yeah, owned by Honda. I think started in the 60s. It's not a bad track, but 3.6 kilometers. Sorry, 3.6 kilometers. 3.6 miles. 3.6 kilometers would be a short circuit. So it's just under 6 kilometers. A couple of really famous turns. You'll see mostly the 130R. So a long, quick left right down towards the end of the lap. And yeah, it's a bit tricky to say the very least, especially on a green circuit. As we'll stay on board with him, Leonardi is just coming up to that corner now, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be a cracking race. So it's not the easiest to pass round. Lots of twists and turns. There's 130 are very easy to just catch a slide there, and you've got walls either side to. Yes, it's very easy to meet your make around there. So you could easily see a few drivers making mistakes at these kind of corners. Slow last couple of corners. Casio Triangle, that's called. Lovely corner. And then through the last curve down, and that last curve is its actual name. Very inventive. And down over the line. So I think they're basically about to start qualifying. I think Max might even be the only car out on track. He is. So, exclusive use of the track. It's like a private test session. So it's actually, the track is in fast condition at the moment, but we'll be starting green, hopefully moving to optimum. Yeah, so hopefully that was a bit, so that's kind of semi-useful. Or Monza. Hope for Monza. Imola, yeah, we'll see. Looking forward to it. I mean, it depends when it comes out, doesn't it? We'll have to see. Right, there we go. So let's get straight into it. Why, it can't keep me in this view. There we go. Lovely stuff. So, early in the morning, qualifying session, 2 a.m. We see it's actually fast track conditions, so it's not too bad. So let's go on board with, if we can find him, Killian Ryan-Moonen. Good look at that. So that's going to be a hell of a queue. Yeah, Killian does not want to mess about here. He's going to try and get out early, get ahead. Does not want to start having to make space for himself. Yeah, it's only a 6-hour race, absolutely. No, looking forward to it, man. So yeah, this Saturday afternoon, 6 hours of Monza. And, just hoping my voice holds out. So I've got some like throat sweets. I'll have plenty of water. Probably a couple of little 5-minute breaks. Apart from that, hopefully all will be hunky-dory. But yeah, looking forward to that. Imola in ACC is coming soon as well, like you say. And the AMG and the Ferrari also getting Evo. Their Evo version was released. So there's plenty to come. And obviously we've got the British GT tracks in the next few months as well. So Alton Park, Donington, Snetterton. I always only remember 3 of the 4. And one other. But yeah, it's going to be good. See, pretty much everyone out on circuit at the moment. Daniel Sesley and Pedicano is still in the pits. But everyone else just leaving the pits or out already. It'll be interesting though. Not the easiest track to pass around is Suzuka, especially at this time of the day when the track isn't going to be exactly feeling as rubbered in as you'll see later on. So it does start to get light as the race is going on. So we should start to see some hot laps being set very shortly. There's that glare from the headlights of Ryan-Moonen's AMG, pointing directly at the camera there. So it comes round at the final corner. We'll watch him for a hot lap. Let's go on board with his dashboard view actually. So coming into the first corner, long sweeping right, patience, hitting the apex nicely. Use a little bit of that runoff on the left up to Snake. It's appropriately named really. So you can see here a few twists and turns, left, right. Holding it nicely onto that last right hand corner. Down into Dunlop, again another long patient turn, coming round through to the double right, through to Degner. Be careful there not to use a bit too much of that runoff on the left. Get it slowed down nicely, use that inside curb. And coming back up the hill towards the hairpin. Slight bank in there. Can come at you a bit quickly that corner, gets it around nicely. So it's a good lap so far. So up towards 200 are now. Another long, fast corner. Coming back up the hill towards the 2 left-handers of Spoon. So it's looking solid so far from Ryan-Moonen, as we would expect to see. And it comes down through backstretch. And we'll come through to that 130R as we saw earlier. And I'm sure he'll look planted as he always does. So he's a little bit of that inside curb, but you've got to be careful to hit that just right, otherwise it will kick you off. Without a shadow of a doubt, through Casio Triangle, making sure it keeps it car nice and planted, makes no mistakes there, no early acceleration, just gets out nice and smooth and comes down to the line. And what sort of time does he set? Oh, into second. So Kieran Sharp currently at provisional pole, 2 minutes .144. So we will see some 59s, I'm sure. Vitor Sousa, don't know how to say his name like that. Vitor Sousa, Portuguese driver in his Ferrari, in third. Fitzpatrick, Talsma and Radu setting times. Dean Thompson as well, pops up into fifth in his McLaren. It's gone board with Jerome Moorman though. So car letting them through there. Nicely done. Not going to be the easiest tonight. There might be a little bit of flashing. It'll be easy to see when someone is flashing you through for sure. Yes, I suspected a few MSL. No, it's yeah, MSL drivers quite quick. Looking forward to seeing how they fare on Saturday as well at Monza. So how's Mormon done? What I can only assume will be his first hot lap. We've only got 13 times the set, so we'll have seen a few invalidated laps, I'm sure. Pops up into second, so just ahead of Ryan Meenan. So cracking start from him. The Dutchman pops up into second place in the Ferrari, that distinctive MSL Racing livery. Kieran Sharp has gone board in his fairly brash OTL livery. So it's a lovely job on the Lexus there, made by our own Scott Vincent. Something mint, something like. Yeah, it's nice. I love it. Oh, it's great. It makes the commentator's job very easy. Oh, it takes a lot of that curve there, but just using just the right amount. So he's looking good. Up a 10th on his current best time, so it might stretch his lead just a little bit. Max Leonard in 4th is a few tenths up as well. Let's see what Sharp can do though. Final corner. Hugs that inside. Tries not to scrub on any time off. And does he go faster? He does, but only by about half a tenth, so not much of an improvement. And Max Leonard, Team Snail Esports. You can just see, spot a snail just scribbled on the side of his car there. Lovely looking thing. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult old session, not the easiest at all. Evening Reese, what's oh dear, oh dear? Not a good time so far. Still got Brugnara sat in the pits as well, so he's got 8 minutes to go. We'll want to hop out on circuit at some point relatively soon. So Leonard coming down to the line. How much does he improve by? Does he improve at all? He does. Pops up into second, 6 thousandths ahead of Jerome's time. So it's really, I pulled one out of the bag there a little bit. Let's go with Daniel Sedgley. So we'll call him Daniel. I don't think he calls himself that anyway. Just Dan. EXR Esports team racer. Currently 6 tenths up on his previous time. Would pop him up into 5th ahead of Fitzpatrick and the other MSL racing driver of Vitor Sousa. And the triangle fairly nicely there, down towards the line. Take that slightly wider berth than we saw someone like Kieran Sharp doing earlier. Hangs it out wide instead. Just tries to keep it as straight a line as possible. Where is he going to go? He puts it ahead of Ryan Meenan. A quarter of a second off of Kieran Sharp's time, but up into 4th. So seeing some good times coming here at the moment. Joe LaCour in his trusty Audi. That noble steed. You can't get him out of that car. Oh, it didn't, Reese. Oh no. Are you getting that sorted before Saturday? Hopefully Amazon Prime can come to the rescue. That's a night. Well, at least it blew up now, not during the race, I suppose. I don't know which one's more annoying. Cheers, Sync. Much appreciated. All the best. Take care. Cheers for saying hi. So quite a few drivers up on their time, just by a couple of tenths here and there. So there'll be a fair bit of movement these last 5-6 minutes. So Joe a couple of tenths up on his time, as is Christopher Larson just ahead of him in the BMW. He's popped up into 8th now. Tugsma just popping up ahead of Joe LaCour. So Joe LaCour to try and gain back the spots he's been losing here. As he pops up 1 ahead again of Tugsma. So top 9, less than a second between them. It's pretty good going around a circuit like this. Killian Ryan Meenan is on one note, half a second up on his best time. So on for a provisional pole position. Moving to around the 1:59.9 flat. So we know how quick he is in both the hot lap scenario and in the race. Saw last week some cracking racing. May have had to settle for a second position, but was in a good fight with Kieran Sharp. Sharp looked very strong last week, but just couldn't quite work out for him with the back marker situation. Was a interesting race last week. Lots of blue flags. Sometimes that's just what happens. He's planning to, yeah. I hope he can. Yeah, that's. So if that didn't happen tomorrow, that would be even worse. So Ryan Meenan down to the line. Does he pop it into pole? He does. 1:59.5. Deary me. So, crikey, that's blown everyone else out of the water just a little bit there, isn't it? So, Jerome Norman up to second now, up with a 1:59.964. So into the 59s as well. Kieran Sharp coming around the final corner. Not up on his time though, I think. So it might just be an outlap, or it might only be up on his time by a few thousandths. So yeah, no improvement. So it might just been an outlap there. See who else is improving on the time. Let's go and watch a bit of Daniel Smith. So currently in 20th. Qualified there last week actually, but finished in 10th position. So did great, going 10 spots from start to end. And I've been very happy with that. It's actually my personal drive of the day last week. Lovely looking livery as well. Lovely job they've done there. A little bit of traffic in front of them though, so that might hold him up a bit. So he might have to decide whether to... I mean, he's going to want to continue this lap. It's right towards the end, so he should be okay. Just slot into the draft a little bit, try and take that down to the line. He's up by half a second as well, so this is going to pop him up a good 4 or 5 spots. He's in 20th at the moment, comes over the line up into 15th, so nearly got the leg in 14th as well. So he might just lift off now and have another go shortly. Kieran Sharp, a couple of tenths up again, so trying to take that back off of Jerome. I don't think anyone will be contesting that pole's time. There's fast and there's fast, and yeah, we know Ryan Meanan's rapid. Yeah, but that time is a bit... almost too quick. I'm sure it is if you ask the rest of the drivers. That mid-pack still very, very close, as it always is. Always fascinating the racing we see there during the race. Times further back, a few drivers struggling a little bit. It's gone with Matt Acton in his, what do I call it, circus tent livery. With the clown behind the wheel. I'm going to keep saying that every week. No, he's doing he's definitely got more pace than that, so he should not be starting that far back. Daly, Lofts and Gardner as well. Oh, crikey, that's... I mean, it got round, let's be honest. It worked. Yeah, let's not tell the other drivers that, Cormac. That would not do any good for their self-esteem. They'd all just pack up and go home, and Killian would be driving around on his own because they'd all given up. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The track should be a little bit green at the start, but we will see. He might be okay. I mean, he's looking pretty handy at the moment with the 2 AM start, so yeah, there probably isn't too much to worry about, is there, from him? It's gone with Vitor Sousa, a little bit up the circuit actually from Matt Acton. Might have been the next car along. Up in 7th at the moment, a couple of tenths up on his time. Might even be able to hop into 4th. It might just have enough time in the bank if he can nail at the last couple of corners through the triangle here. He's going to get held up a little bit if he's not careful. He's going to have to use this to his advantage if possible, if the other car sort of has a bit of a nightmare. Got a bit lucky there. That car had a bit of an issue, left him a little bit of a gap, and yeah, he went for it. But I think it has lost him a couple of tenths. He'll be a bit gutted about that, but if the other car was out on hot lap as well, that just is how those things go sometimes. Sousa up to 6th then. I mean, you're pretty quick. We know you're not exactly slow, are you, Cormac? Let's be honest. But no, he's just a tad fast. So, as I said, too fast if you ask me. Joe in 12th. A couple of tenths up there briefly, but I think they might have lost a little bit of time. Bas Tolsma behind him is a few tenths up on his best lap as well. It's good to see him hopping up into 11th or 10th. Matt Acton actually popped it up into 10th, who we were on board with a second ago. He was only 6 thousandths off of getting above Christopher Larson. So no improvement from him. Bas Tolsma. The big old Bentley. The Euro Enduro Motorsports driver. He's lost a couple of tenths though, so very similar on his baseline time what he's already on. Unlikely that he's going to improve here unless he can really push. Needs a few tenths to really get any gap on track as well. Hey Jagged, how you doing, man? Very, very kind of you there. Gifting the sub to Killian. Thank you very much for the follow, Matt. Matt OX 3. Thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, don't worry. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Yeah, cheers for the follow. Much appreciated. So you're going to be able to race then, Reese? I hope so, man. I hope you're gutted if you miss out on that. Oh, Mattia popping that up into 7th as well, so he did get a valid time in towards the end. Looking a bit risky for him there for a second. Actually, the 2 drivers in front of him and the 2 drivers behind, all improving on their lap times. So just as that track's getting rubbered in more and more, we are very kind of you, man, to give this up to Killian. Very, very kind of you, dude. I really appreciate that. I'm sure Killian will as well. Not to see any annoying adverts. Nothing like a mood killer like that, is there? Oh, I just get into this strip. Right, yes, okay. 15 seconds of advert. I'll mute that. Fingers crossed, man. I really, really hope you do get in, Reese. I'll be gutted for you. It's a bit like we had a couple of drivers miss out on the Silverstone race, didn't we? Because of tech issues, like wheels breaking in the week beforehand. Oh, a little bit away from Mattia there. Watch me do work on you guys when I can finally be home after my last race, but the right person. Let's see what happens. See if we can. Oh, there's leg coming through, and it's Pepsi Mobile. On board though with Leonard coming through to the finishes, final lap. So checkered flag is out. And he's on a good time here. This is going to get him very close. He's popped up into 2nd within a 10th. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive from Max. Up into 2nd now. He looked good last week until his shenanigans at the pit stop. Wasn't too happy, obviously, with the pit line. Again, it's the fault that you need to practice your pit entry. You have to practice your pit entry before a race. It's the one thing I'd want to practice, knowing where the pit restriction, the pit limiter line is. Because the boards had been knocked over last week and quite a few missed it. Not loads, like 30 odd didn't, but 3 or 4 did break white. Like we're talking 30 metres too late. But Zelda said, yeah, that wasn't going to go. It wasn't going to go well. Yeah, it's very kind of you, Jagger. That's just been a good person. We really appreciate that, and yeah, we really appreciate your support, dude. Really do. Kieran Sharp here. What sort of time is he going to set? He's a good couple of tenths up on his lap. Oh, and he doesn't quite get that pole spot, but very close. 1:59.562. Let's go on to the timetables. Gaulows, how close that is. Look at that. We'll say it's actually just spotted there. Martin Neggin 13th. He'll be very happy with that. Only 1.5 seconds off of Killian's time. That's pretty handy, to be honest, in the AMG. So top of the AM drivers. Well done there. That Pepsi Mobile, like I said. But Killian Ryman just holding on a little bit. Worried at the end maybe there. A couple of drivers getting in within a 10th. But Ryman in taking the pole position. With none of the fastest 3 sectors though. Well, Kingdom for a I know, man. It's probably missed the days of doing like 10 car races on Project Car Smudge. So much easier to get a bit of clean air then, wasn't it? Oh, jagged. And that's been interesting. It's been good. There's too many purple and white cars though. It's really hard for me to commentate on. I don't know who's who half the time. So yeah, Sharp and Leonard. Get that right one day. Second and third, Sousa. There we go. In 4th, another MSL driver, Jerome Mormon, just behind him in 5th. Safety up to 6th in the end. Brugnara in 7th. And they looked strong last week. We had Brugnara finishing 3rd just behind Sharp and Ryan Main, and Mormon finishing 4th with Joe Lacour, Sagely just behind him, Vitor Sousa, Larson, Leonard, and Daniel Smith with the top 10. It's pretty competitive. So Daniel Smith starting in 15th today. So we've got pace all the way back though. You've got some still good solid pace in that mid pack. This is like normal driver speed. This is like not alien fast. This is where anyone should be okay with being speed wise. But yeah, these guys at the top, just silly times to be honest. We're off to the race now. That was it. Just for the league races. Ah, right. I'll try and remember that, Jagged. Oh, I'm sure I'll forget. Oh, hello, Killian. See, it's super slippery. Yeah, it's going to be this first lap. Could be a bit spinny. Got a little bit. See a little bit of spinala. Yeah, he's a bit too quick for his own liking. To be honest, I said Scott, if he was being able to race in this championship, he'd be right up there because he's quick on everything, irritatingly as well. I'm not someone who can do that kind of thing. I'll be quick on that game, dreadful on that game. I mean, it'd be nice to be quick on a game, but hey ho, again, we can't have it all. Most of us can't have anything, but you know. Said Ryan Meaning, I'm sure another one you put him into another sib. I don't think I've ever seen him drive. I think I might have seen him on Project Cars. Can't remember if he was any good. I'm assuming he was. But yeah, Scott, once he gets into a rhythm, he's just fast. But yeah, Ryan Meaning, still less than a tenth between him, Sharp and Leonard. So it's going to be interesting. Mormon and Sousa, again, hot lap, pace, race pace, not always the same thing. Not always the same thing. Can we get into the car? Get onto track? We can. Lovely job let's get into the Helicam. That's a slightly interesting choice of... can we go from further up? There we go, a bit of mid-pack action. God, that's a weird angle. That's making me feel a little bit queasy. So just under a minute to go now. Yeah, then we get underway for 60 minutes. So there is a mandatory pit window right in the middle of the race. It's only open for 15 minutes. So yeah, only open for 15 minutes, so 7.5 minutes either side of the middle of the race, so 22.5 minutes in. Ryan Meenan. Actually, the top 3 from last season was Killian Ryan Meenan. He won by 46 points from Kieran Sharp, with Brunyada another 35 points back. But we had someone like Andrew Pike, who was in 7th in that championship, but he's struggling a little bit more in this one. Went for the purple Jag. There you are, can't miss it. So we can swap to a different camera for a second. Yeah, that's not really... that is pointing at the car in 28th. I mean, it is technically. There's just 13 cars right in front of him. So the idea was there, was just not very well executed. Oh well. So off on our formation lap now. No worries, Katinka. I don't mind answering questions. I'm not going to shout at people for asking stuff in the chat. Obviously, if they're like, watch this person, watch that, but then maybe not. But like, I know no one really does that. So I know, Jagged. It's a great game, but it's not. It's hard. It's quite hard, to be honest. It is. It's where you see most of the quickest drivers, because it's just not easy by a stretch. Flying start. Yeah. Oh no. Keep asking questions. I'm more than happy to ask. Answer. I'll probably ask a few as well. I'm more than happy to answer if I know the answer, and there's a good chance I won't. But no, I'll do my best to help. So yeah, flying start. So they'll come around towards the last couple of corners. The game will tell them to get into a certain position, getting them lining up in rows of 2. And they'll get to a certain speed limit, and they'll come down to the line, and when the front driver hits the line, the lights go green and they go hell for leather. Yeah, but we're good. A helpful bunch most of the time, apart from Tuesdays. No, that was me just picking a random date. We're quite nice on Tuesdays as well. I'm a VR driver. Yeah, no, the ACC is not one. Oh man, if it did VR and it did it amazingly, this game would be... I mean, it's pretty close to being the best game, I think, but... Say the word game quietly before someone lynches you for not calling it a sim. But they're all games, let's be honest. They're all video games. So yeah, but we'll see Sharp alongside Ryan Meenan. Leonard and Souza, Mormon and Sesley up the front. But we do have, say, 33 drivers. I think one may be out already, though. Dennis Deutsch in the pit, so I don't think he readied up in time. Maybe it's due to an issue, so he'll be starting from the pit lane. Don't see that actually very often. Yeah, he's driving. He's concentrating really hard, is my guess. So Martin Legg actually has gained a position due to Dennis Deutsch's trouble. Now, I don't think you can quite see it. Pepsi Max livery there. It's quite a nice job. Unfortunately, very dark. Played the PC2, I nearly got... Ooh. Yeah, some people can do it. It's like, oh, this is great. And some people put it on and go like, I'm gonna chunder, take that off. What? Can't do that. Yes, that is Jagged, yes. Kieran Sharp is average Sharpie. That is his name in Discord. Indeedy-doody. Yes. Very inventive username, isn't it? I think most people in here, Dan Sedgley is Dan Moto. Mormon, I think, is Boutman, I think, in the Discord. I keep forgetting. Too many Dutch drivers, I can't remember which one's got which name. Oh yeah, no, Scott, trust me. We did, when he's popped in to sub in for a race in the end of the last championship, I think, and he came second, I think. So yeah, Boutman, wicked, awesome. Much appreciate that, Katinka. So yeah, there we go. So, let's go up the front. You can see the game is ordering them up 2 by 2. Let's get a bit of helicam, see if it gives us a half decent view this time. Might get a little bit low coming around the first turn though. So yes, Mormon is Boutman NL in the Discord server. So round the Casio triangle. And I'll get down to the line. All need to try and get in as close as possible to where the game is telling them. Otherwise, once it kicks the pit limiter in, the the speed limit, you have to pretty much stay where you are, and if you've gone too far back, you just lose out. As we saw last week, actually, the pulse hitter Ryan Meenan was adjusting something in OBS for his stream, and ended up having to lose pole spot because of it. Started in second in the end, but he will be okay this time out. Kieran Sharp not far back though, right in position nicely, getting ready to put his foot down, waiting for Ryan Meenan to get his car to the line. There we go, and they will go green. So Ryan Meenan on the inside, going to hug that line. He'll come across though, try and ward off any opportunity for Leonard or Kieran Sharp. He's got a good start though, so he'll get away nice and cleanly coming around the first couple of corners. Leonard looking up the inside of Kieran Sharp. Little door touch there. Sharp will get it around nicely. A little bit of a squirrel, but keeps it facing in the right direction. Thank you very much for the follow, Speedy Zeta. Hopefully I've said that right. So Ryan Meenan off to a great start, as well as Sharp and Leonard doing well. Sousa up in fourth, just ahead of his teammate Mormon, Sedgley, Brunyara. We've got Larson and Fitzpatrick. Joe LeCour rounding out the top 10. So most of them looking like they got off fairly cleanly. Might have been the odd door touching further back. We just have to wait for the time. Don't worry about the time board on the left. You just have to wait for it to have its moment after they go through the first sector, and then hopefully we should be able to know who is where. So long queue of cars. Look like they got through pretty cleanly, I do have to say. If so, absolute fair play to them. So these track conditions are not easy. Yeah, it's because it's built on an Unreal Engine, I think, isn't it, Jagged? But yeah, it's a massive shame. But yeah, VR's well worth doing. Most people I know who use VR go to triple screen eventually. But hey ho, if it's what you like, it's what you like. So Leonard still being hounded by Kieran Sharp. Sharp being very close. Leonard keeping it a little bit wide there out of spoon curve, or a little bit of a slide from both of them. One going slightly wider than the other. You've got the teammates Mormon and Sousa just in behind. So let's go a bit further back. Let's go on board with Joe LeCour in 8th. So he's trying to catch Brunyara just ahead in the AMG. But that Audi just at the moment needs to defend from the BMW just behind him. Christopher Larson, the American, back in the OTL League for the first time since season number 3. Oh, he's got a great drive out of 130R there though. Joe LeCour going slightly defensive on that inside, covering the line there, trying to avoid Larson having any opportunity, and does it well there. Larson being a little bit compromised through the triangle, so he drops back a little bit. Let's go on. So you can see actually Martin Legg dropped a couple of positions. So Martin at the moment currently the top leading AM driver. So we've got look at this bright lovely yellow DHL livery car. Ash Gledel in 23rd. He's got Andrew Pike, Dean Thompson just behind him. So all of them current or former admins in OTL. Been with us for a very long time. Do love that custom livery job. Do have to be, do have to say, delivering success and all that usual obvious puns for a courier livery, really. But fair play to Thompson as well for being able to mix it with these guys. Obviously, like myself, come from Xbox. Evening, Lozzie. Cheers for the 3 cheers. Really appreciate that. Hey, look, Matu. I'm a controller. What do you play, Matu? I'm a controller user as well. I don't have a wheel anymore due to some health problems, just too many joint issues. I'd end up in loads of pain. Yeah, as long as it's not absolutely pitch black. You want to do it at tracks that have actually got lighting. There's probably just having project cars. Stand for send it. I like it. Hadn't thought of that one. Wish I had. Bit annoyed with myself. Well done. I'll nick that for next time. But it will have to be on this livery specifically. If it goes off of this, I'm just gonna have to tell him to use it for next season, or we'll have one more dart race maybe. Who knows? We can make Bathurst wet and dark. I'm sure they'd love that. F1 2020, fair enough. Well, you can do that on there. So Ryan Meenan 1.2 seconds clear. Max Leonard still holding off Sharp. Sharp taking that curb like it isn't there. Yes, no, we don't want that. I wasn't going to make a joke then. It sounded a little bit dirty, so I'm not going to. But yeah, use your own imaginations. I'm sure we're all just as bad as each other. So Ryan Meenan is going to give his flashing name there on his car. Good start from him. First couple of laps. Nice clean break. Only a second though. Leonard and Sharp still in attendance, not losing too much time at the moment. Let's go a bit further back. See David Daly towards the back. So only, oh, there's a car around. Who was that? Was that Dennis Deutsch? I don't think it was. Oh, Deutsch got a little bit of a tap on the back of that yellow Porsche. I think that was Magato. Got Zamfir Redu just behind them, so it's maybe been a couple of comings together early on, but we'll have to see later on. Let's move down the inside. I think that's Zamfir. No, it's not Zamfir. This is Zamfir. We're already on board with him. That would have been Dennis Deutsch then in the lovely grey Ferrari. So again, fighting all the way throughout the pack. Let's go on board actually with Bunyara. So again, looked really strong last season. Started last week pretty well with a podium. First up in this championship. 8 weeks as well this championship. A little bit longer than our usual 6 weeks. Oh, evening again, Wolfie. Well, I'm not Wolfie. Hope you're well. Bit different to a Clio. Oh, only a tad, yeah. I've only worked about 20 days since March. Oh dear, still getting 80% pay, but that's just about gets me through the month with rent bills and food. Yeah, oh, fair enough. I hope you're doing all right either way. My mother has had to go on shielding again. She shielded for 4 months and she started again as of today. Due to, I spoke about this last time with a few people here, but medication. It suppresses our immune system. So at the moment, so you as well. I was going to say, I bet you are. Rung the doctors, they had no idea. Absolutely not a clue what was going on. I thought I'll wait for them. She don't. She's a nightmare. No, I love her to pieces. She's like a big child. She's good. She works in a... Oh, well, wow. Yeah, she works at a school as well, so that doesn't help because they've stayed open, so... she'll be good. We'll be good. It's not over panicking about it. Do what you can. Don't go everywhere. Wash your hands. Wear a face mask if you have to go in a shop. Yeah, our GPA's like, oh, really? What did it say? Hang on a minute. This is your job. But, oh, well. Anyway, racing. We can talk about... Sorry. Got to have a little bit of interaction with the chat when you're within some racing. I don't want to pretend you're not here. Not quite yet, anyways. So, who shall we go on board with? The stretch out a little bit. No really close fight. Let's go on board with actually Martin Legg. So let's drop back a little bit. This sector of the lap was pretty close to the back of Tolsma. Still though, 13th would represent a really good finish. Where did he finish last week? So he actually finished 14th last week. Again, was a great finish. Roughly mid. If you're literally finishing in the middle of the positions. As an AM driver, that's going to put you in a very good position. Oh, Tolsma's had a big off. Where did we miss that? So he's down into 20th now. I'm not going to click on the replay because it could go back way too far and we'll never find it, frankly. Hello, James. Hello. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. Really looking forward to it. Oh, I really appreciate that, Jagged. I you know. Sometimes I'm better than others, you know. 6 hours is going to be interesting. I can waffle with the best of them, but yeah, I get my fun comes from talking to you guys. I love this racing as being able to enjoy it with you. I really enjoy it. It's the only reason I don't really race anymore, you know. Maybe because I'm better at this than I was racing, but we'll pretend that's not the case. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, James. I can't wait. I really cannot wait. Not seen the grand since March. Oh man. I remember. Oh, well, I hope she's doing all right. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, dude. That's not easy. We will get through this, isn't it? It'll come sooner rather than later. I think we're nearer the end than we are the start. Bloody better be, anyways. Yeah, man. Can't wait. It's nice to do an afternoon one as well, so that by the time it gets around to about this time of day, I'll be finished on Saturday. It'll be lovely. Yeah, that sucks though, Stig. I really hope that you get to see her as soon as possible, man. Yeah. Little niche within a niche. Oh yeah, we've got to have something to do, so it gives us something to do like mad, doesn't it? And the big thing is, all communities have got to be friendly to each other. It's like we're all here to help each other. We should be, anyways. So it's just nice to be nice to others. It's always the way it should be. Oh, getting very close to Leonard there. Let's get back to a little bit of racing. So there's still a few battles going on. There's not really any massive gaps. You've got a 2.2 second gap with Fitzpatrick up to Larson, but beyond that, say 3 seconds with Legg to Acton. There aren't huge gaps. Again, it's going to be fairly tactical this race. You're not going to see a huge amount of overtaking on the circuit due to its twisty nature. You're going to see a fair bit of You'll see one driver maybe in the battle hopping into the pits early, trying to go for an undercut, getting out on the fresh tyres. Mandatory tyre change. No refuelling though. So yes, he has. So let's go on board. So Fitzpatrick, there's again another lovely livery under the lights. Beautiful job. He's got Axon just behind him. Christopher Larson though. On the back of Joe LaCour, just 4 tenths between them as well. So looking good in the, looking strong in that BMW. Wasn't able to race last season due to a big cross-country move in the US. Got there and had either no internet or useless internet, so couldn't take part. But obviously got that sorted, so it's great to see him back. And yeah, he's always been a pretty fast driver, always one of the contenders, near the sharp end of the grid. Oh no! Smudge! Oh man! Oh, I'm gutted, Smudge. Sorry, man. I've seen how your races go. Like I said last season, you were my driver of the week last week. So I have to pick someone else this time round. So probably Leg if he finishes in 11th, but... Oh, gutted, man. Gutted. So is that Sam fit? So Sam, yeah, so weird, nothing come up on my feed, which is very rare. Or he spun his out. I think he might have spun himself, because I can't see, there's no accident on my log and with his number. So, easily done. Hey, round here he will not be the only one. We will see mistakes. Down to 27th now, yeah, but just knuckles down, there will be mistakes, especially slightly further back. You'll see the odd spin, the odd, you know, grass or gravel escapade. Little trip with the bucket and spade. Yeah. Oh, that's gutting, man. Hate when it happens to anybody, but yeah, especially you. Like to have seen you do well. Love your livery as well. As I said that before. No, it's been wicked seeing you do well last week. So yeah, bummer. Yeah, most of us make mistakes 99% of the time, Matthew. Do not compare yourself to a Ryan Meaning. It never goes well. It never goes well. So Leonard's still holding Sharpie behind. That gap's been about half a second for about the last 10 minutes. Quite a big gap as well back to Sousa and Moorman. You're not going to see any dives from Moorman, even if he gets close. It was only a couple of tenths a minute ago. Oh, Sousa going wide though. Going a bit too long on the brakes. Long sweeping turn, gets back on, but look how much time he lost there. So he lost about 6 tenths. Already, Moorman on his tail. Daniel Sesley. Well, keep calling him Daniel. It's like he's in trouble. Go to your room, Daniel. I don't know. Yeah, he's not yet, but we'll see if he hits anybody. All during tonic time. Might as well make something of it. Did you see it drag? Yeah, you did. Hang on, let's go on board briefly with it. Swap it up a little bit. Bright blimmin' purple as well. Can't miss it. What did... Oh, ugh. Sorry, Fish. Yeah, Mr. Fish, by the way, Andrew Pike, for anyone asking. Mr. Fish in other games. Look at the sight of that. Right, if you really want to look at the team name in the bottom right, I'm not going to say it out loud. He's a big child. Oh, you spotted it, James. Yes, good. His team name for Saturday is Harden. So Harden space Long. Yeah, so his team name is Harden Long Motorsport. Absolute child. Oh well, some mothers do have them. Yeah, Lozzie, that's not going to be great for your tyres. I think you probably already know that. Probably by the amount of tyres you've gone through. It's weird, they only last 3 weeks. I wonder why. Might be all that opposite lock I do on the way to work. Power! What, the current one? Katinka? Peter? Yes. It sounds like a person who... No, I can't say that. Yeah, it's a bad person. Yeah, one of them. I like the way you've worded that, Wolfie. Thank you for getting me out of that hole without me having to try and climb out. There we go. Thank you. Cheers. Well done, lads. Oh, Pike comes to defend here. De Wolf getting pretty close. That Ferrari. 3 Ferraris behind him, actually. Dennis Deutsch and Mav Gardner slightly further back. So a few drivers we've lost already then. So we've lost Daniel Smith. I think we've got 30. We have 31 on circuit. Yeah, so a couple of drivers, just Daniel Smith and one other, who we've lost unfortunately. So I'm not quite sure who. So let's see. What is Ryan Whelan's gap at the moment? 2.9 seconds to Leonard. So it's pretty strong. Won't be too concerned. It would be interesting to see around the pits how they decide to when they decide to come in, how early. So Mormon's still pretty close to the back of his teammate. So that gap hasn't really changed after Sousa made that mistake that we saw earlier around turn 1. He stayed pretty close to the back of them. Oh, he's on eBay for parts. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh man, yeah, that's why I'm rubbish around Brian's GP match. I'm really good at the first bit, the Indy circuit, and then you go into the GP section, and I just try not to bin it. And my race very much comes apart there. It's just a bit of a shame, but I enjoyed the Indy bit. Absolute codswallop at the rest. That is what, yeah, that's probably why I'm rubbish at that, Wolfie. You're all just explaining why I'm rubbish at it. That is wishful thinking, if I'm honest, James. I think that's wishful thinking. It might be 12. It could be 12. Probably 9. Probably 9, if it is that long. But oh yeah, I don't think it's going to be Bathurst, but I won't be the one deciding. As much as I am, as they like to call me, El Presidente, kind nickname they like to chuck my way. I actually, I let them. Everyone runs their own leagues and runs their the parts of OTL, and they do an amazing job. I try not to micromanage. They'll sort of chuck ideas my way, and I'll be like, "Yeah, that's great. Go on, go for it." So, yeah. I mean, we might though. You never know, James. I'm trying to call you everything else there. Jamie. So I don't know. They might want to do Bathurst. I suspect we won't, because everywhere else does. I think we'll probably go for a slightly less death-inducing circuit. But if we come out and be like, the next one's Bathurst, don't be surprised. Oh yeah, I think we. Oh no, man, it would get loads. I'm sure it'd be mega popular, but don't know, to be honest. Do not know. Well, Larson's still trying to close up that gap to Joe Lacour. According what usually does best. He's normally in that little mid-pack, a little bit off the lead, not too far behind. He's 5.6 back from Sedgley, so the first 4 or 5 seconds covering the top 6. You've then got Lacour and Larson, a little bit of their own space. You've got Desmond Fitzpatrick in 9th. He's got a good 1.8 second lead back to Acton. Brugnara down in 11th, so not even in the top 10 at the moment. Podium sitter last week. So not gone great for him so far. They look kind of cool. Wolfie, I think they look cool. As I don't really drive, that's the only bummer we've not really been someone who drives very often anymore. I don't know how that'll feel. It'd be interesting to see how everyone thinks it'll go. Imola will be great. Especially the British GT tracks to come in the next few months. There's got so many circuits to pick from. But yeah, I think annoyingly our next endurance after this Saturday would probably have been pretty much around Christmas time. So we'll probably leave it until New Year. Yeah, on Project Cars, Matthew, I'd absolutely be able to give you some good controller settings. Oh, Brugnara, is he going to let down the inside into turn 1? No, Acton's going to take that apex still. Keep that line. Brugnara will have to go another time. Sharp still right up the back, though, of Max Leonard. He's just going to make the move now, though. Might have the opportunity to get alongside. He's been waiting for that opportunity. Oh, he's doing well to get alongside. He just lifts a little bit. Doesn't want to initiate any contact there. Rightfully so. Well, Leonard going a little bit wider. I think we'll just about be okay. Obviously get 3 track warnings, and then the 4th is a drive through. So I'll have to be careful there. These guys going fell for leather. So close between both of them. So 2.5, 3 minutes now until the pit window opens. It'll be interesting to see who comes in first. Starving yourself in order to buy a wheel. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's don't have anything. Don't feel bad just starting with a low. Just it's the pedals that are more important than the wheel, in my opinion. Oh, evening, Gandalf. Sorry, I hadn't seen you. Yeah, Got about 3 screens. My head's going round and round like an owl, so I've got quite a sore neck. Driving Force GT, yeah. Scott is still using the Driving Force GT, and as we said earlier, he's rapid. He won't be using it fairly shortly, I think, but or maybe, I don't know. He's got to upgrade at some point. Scott, you can't. I mean, you'd hope that Scott at some point is going to upgrade. A driver of that speed shouldn't be using the wheel like that for that long. But he's so familiar with it. You can be quick with those sort of wheels. Is you're that familiar and you practice that much? Yeah, G920. No, I wouldn't call you so either. No, but G920, great wheel to start on. Is it even a TMX? The wheel's fine. It's just the pedals that are absolute garbage. If you get different pedals, maybe, or get the Pro TMX, which has the 3. So most of us are slow, right? If only the ones who are quick stay doing it, there's not going to be many of us left, is there? But yeah, Project Cars 2, I can give you good controller settings. If you actually Google Project Cars 2 controller settings, the top result will be the article I posted. But on other games, AMS2, I could do that for PC. On other games, not so much. Most other games, especially the more realistic sims, are going to be quite heavily geared towards wheels. So Ryan Moonen, 4.3 second lead. Moorman still on the back of Sousa, still essentially behind. So these three, that gap's pretty much been the same now for about 10 minutes, maybe longer. But the Core and Larson aren't really going to catch them up. That gap has only gotten bigger, just on sheer pace, I think. Acton, Brugnada and Fitzpatrick, so these two have caught Fitzpatrick pretty well, so 9th, 10th and 11th. Brugnara looking up the inside of Acton maybe, but not quite getting the drive out of the corner. Going wide a little bit. Sometimes you can get that throttle down early, so you can be on the throttle a bit sooner than the other car. Brugnara all over the back. Oh hello, this is going to be interesting. Where's Brugnara going? Yeah, he's found a safe way back on track. He's going to have to wait for the other drivers, but I tell you what, you might have an issue here. I'm going to be very intrigued here to see what happens. He's done well. I was worried he was going to come barreling across the apex there on like, if that was wet, he'd have had a nightmare there. Oh, you can, James. I don't think it'll make much difference. I don't think it'll make much difference. I'm hoping the game recognises that he did that corner, because if it doesn't, it's going to chuck him down the lap when he comes round. We'll either have to adjust at the end, which we could do. We've had that in a race before, where someone got punted across a corner, like a corner that backed around on itself. And that's not bad. I mean, you got your. Oh, there we go. Pit window open. You've got your Jardier and you've got Dalkin and Co. So there's many quick drivers. Obviously, Jardier starting on pole with Valentin Barrier. They looked unbelievably quick. So who are we seeing coming early? Dan Lofts, MSL Racing driver. So getting that pit in early. Get some new shoes on and get back out on circuit. No one else though following him in yet. Let's go Bob with Lowett Martin. Let's see how he's doing. So, what's a funky couple of cameras, isn't it? Change to that one, so we'll get a bit of a slightly further out shot. So there's Marko Kozic just behind him. Just under a second. Baz Tolsma are about 4 seconds back from them, so they've got a little bit of room. Don't need to panic too much. Martin Legg just ahead of them on the road, you can see there in his Pepsi Max livery. Very simple, needed a delivery, wanted to ask for one. It's kind of Pepsi Max in front of him. He was like, that might look alright. I think it looks quite good personally. No fuel refill, it's only an hour. Oh, leg getting a bit squirrely there, but catches it nicely, gets it back on circuit. So that's not bad. Those mistakes will happen, it's just about making sure they're not too big. And keep it going. So not too bad there from him. Gone board with Lee Cushing. So had a good result last week. Finished up in 11th spot, was the just outside the top 10 behind Daniel Smith. So leading AM driver. Not sure if he'll stay in the AM category or if he's a pro. To be honest, he might be a pro. He's just a bit further back than he normally would be in this race. We normally take a couple of races to make sure that to alter the categories as needed. Just make sure it's right for the rest of the league. We don't just guess at the start and then go, well, that's what it is, and then leave it alone. We'll adjust it if we... Because if you get a lot of new drivers, you're just guessing. So Christopher Larson into the pits, Vitor Sousa in the pits, Zamfir Radu in the pits as well. Anyone else? And I think that is just it at the moment. David Daly, Dean Thompson as well are in the pits, I believe. Let's have a look. Well, David Daly is. I think Dean Thompson, is he retired? No, he's not in the race anymore. So Thompson's out, unfortunately. So down to 30 drivers now. So it'll be interesting to see when those front runners come in. How early are they going to decide to dive into the pits? Are you the one? Yeah, but basically, yeah, as early as possible, frankly, so you can get it in, obviously. Hopefully I can use it on stream. I'm just letting the front runners come through. So it's on board with Sharp. Still can't get past Lienard. Lienard's doing just enough here to keep him behind. And like it's not the easiest time to... Not the easiest track, sorry, to get round someone. Not the easiest to pass Suzuka. Yes, oh, Harris does so many great videos. Wonder if we'll see one of these front runners come in now, especially those in a battle. If they feel they're being held up and it's affecting their pace, then they might come in early. Have to keep an eye on this as they come around the final corner. Will we see someone dive in? Nope, we will not. Not the easiest pit entry, that as well. I say not the easiest, it's horrid. Utterly horrid. Oh yeah, turn 1 is not... And trust me, with Sharpie will be stewarding that race. Kieran Sharp himself, as we're on board with now, he will be stewarding the race. And it will be pretty strict in terms of... Joe Lecor in the pits here. Now, it'll be pretty strict in terms of lap 1 incidents. If you cause an incident early on, especially in the first lap, it will most likely be a stop-go. He pitted. Pretty sure he pitted. Where's Larson? There we are. Yeah, he's pitted. Vitor Sousa, Lost, Deutsch, Garner, Daly, Reddy, they've all pitted. But Joe Lecor now. So 13th, 14th, Brugnara, Lee Cushing also in. So a fair few taking that stop now. So obviously that broke up this little fight we were watching earlier, Moorman and with his teammate, and then Sesley as well. But Sousa's now further back with his pit stop. That's alright, I did worry him. Oh, did I miss something? I was like, no. I remembered. I was like, oh no, I saw him going to the pits. It's gonna be. It's just one of those ones where it's 6 hours. It's Monza at 6 hours. People will make mistakes. It's just concentrating. It's too many people try and just race hard like it's a half an hour race. So no, just do your own thing. Avoid incident. Try not to murder anyone and get a penalty. Don't get murdered by someone. And just to keep clean. And honestly, after half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, you'll find you've picked up spots if you've done that, because others will have made mistakes. I think so. Anyway, those that do that, you always see have a great start. Always. Let's go on board with... It's a little bit of a fight in the mid-pack here. So we've got Pelicano in 14th in the Ferrari. We've got Evans and De Wolf quite closely in behind now. Pike in the bright purple Jaguar. Don't hear those 3 words muttered too often together, thankfully. Bright purple Jag. De Wolf going a little bit wide there, so he's going to drop back from this fight a little bit. Oh, Pelicano having a bit of a moment. But these 3 all still fighting valiantly. 2 Ferraris and a Lexus. And then that Jag just coming over the brow there in the background. 2.1 seconds back. And Matt Acton in the pits as well as Kozic now. So some of the front runners hopping into the pits. But yeah, no, Monza, everyone knows it's turn 1. It's like, look, it might turn into a bit of a car park. Just take your time. There's no rush. We're here for 6 hours. Don't do anything silly. If you're going to do something silly, you're going to get a whacking great penalty. Well, Pike, De Wolf in the pits as well as Hall now then. So front runners still going strong at the front. They're not deciding to jump in yet. I was wondering if Sharp might try and undercut, but he's waiting. So let's go on board with the That's not him. This is him. Come on, game. Oh no, is Gledel gone as well? Yeah, so he went. Oh crikey, so Gledel went early, so he went after 2 laps. So he must have had some issue early on. Whether that's a disconnect or a massive crash, I do not know. So he was, yeah. So you two are the 2 drivers we've lost so far. Then, oh sorry, you two and Thompson. Damn it! When did that happen? That's a shame.
We are halfway through. Keep pushing.
So just hearing from Dean Thompson, I think he had a bit of an issue, whether it was a lag from another car or something that hit him, or another car. Ironically, it was Ash's, so it might have been the disconnecting car hit his, and then massive damage. And yeah, so maybe just a bit unlucky. So I wonder if Ash has disconnected. So yeah, not sure what quite went on there. It's a bit unlucky though. Those things do happen though. Sim racing just yeah, the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, isn't it? Unfortunately. So Sharp in the pits now. So how's this going to unfold? Ryan Meaning as well, Moorman, like Martin Tolsma. Yeah, it's going to start shaking that order up a little bit. It's going to be interesting. Gives us a fun 15-20 minutes. Has Sharp gone as well? Has Sharpie disconnected? What's going on there? So we've lost Kieran Sharp as well. Yeah, I'm not going blind, am I? Yeah, we've lost another one. So yeah, not sure quite what's going on there. It's gutting though. We're clearly having some issues. But I'm right, aren't I? I'm definitely not seeing Sharp in that order. Yes, he's gone. So leg one of those who hasn't pitted now. Leonard up into the lead of the race. I mean, this might be the only one left. Hopefully we'll find out shortly. Yeah, we've never had them though before. We have races with more people than this, and it's like, oh dear. I just see what happened. Ash got a blue screen. Martin leg into the pits now. Yeah, Ash got a full blue screen. Oh dearie dear. So Leonard safely, and Fitzpatrick and leg all in. So Gerard Ocamp, no, he's coming in as well. So Pelicano, if he doesn't come in, will take the lead of this race, but he probably wants to come in now. He's only got a few minutes left. No, he's going to do another lap. No, we've never had it. It might just be a general connection. Like, I mean, it might be a server load thing where the location is maybe for once, but I don't know. So Dash was a blue screen. That meant that Crampy's car got walloped by a car that was disconnecting. So that nerfed him out. Smudge disconnected. His internet's a bit trash, isn't it, Smudge? On occasions, no. Yeah. It's like, I'm the only one in this server. I reckon I could get top 3. But yeah, I think I don't know, we very rarely have issues on this game. Very rarely get any disconnects. More than one anyways. And even that's pretty rare. Very rarely have disconnects at all. And we're a very solid server, so... God knows what's going on. Right, so 25.5 minutes left to go. Little flash from Ryan in there. No, really, his full position. Doesn't need to let him past. Obviously, Pedicano does have to pit, so the wise thing would be just to let him through nice and easily, really. But yeah, there's no obligation. It is still 4 position, so there's no need to just move over. There's no blue flags coming on here. He will have a good chance to get past him pretty shortly, though. He's going to have the quicker car. As again, it's full race position. It is no blue flags, so hopefully Ryan isn't getting shirty with him for not just letting him through. There's nothing wrong with what he's done there. So Pedicano sits in 2nd position. Ryan Meenan up back into the lead. So it looks like at the moment his closest battle is going to be with probably Jerome Moorman once he pits, but Jerome Moorman once Pedicano pits. Moorman 8 seconds back, so Ryan Meenan in a very good position now for the rest of this race. So pit window shutting in a minute. So yeah, Pedicano I think is the only driver not to have pitted yet. Let's go slightly further back. Let's go to Jared Ocon. We know he hadn't earlier. Oh, Thomas Martin having getting a drive through, so he'll have to pop in and serve that. Still a few battles further down the order. Andrew Pike. So he's got a few cars in front of him. Lee Cushion and Seb De Wolf, Sebastian De Wolf, just ahead. So still nice and early in the daytime. You can see it's still pretty dark, but a little bit lighter, just that tiniest bit lighter. So let's go. So what is the closest battle further forward then? Let's have a look. So Joe LaCour, again, still. Is it still with Larson? Yeah, it is. Or is it? No, so actually, so Joe LaCour's caught up to Dan Sesley really nicely. So these two are generally always near the front. They're always in the top, like, top 5 or 6 usually. Joe LaCour is a big fan of 4th positions. Doesn't want the limelight. Doesn't want the limelight of being on the podium, you see. But still wants to get as many points as possible. So he gets it quite close. He gets it quite near the front, but not too near the front. Doesn't want to take too much of the attention. He's a thoughtful fella like that. And Joe, what's he done there? What have you done there, Joe? So I have my stream completely froze there. So I was trying to sort that out, and then he's gone and binned it. Joseph. Right, let's have a replay of that then. If the game can manage it, give us a sec. Don't worry about this, it's because of all the personal liveries. But it's well worth a watch. So, I know you guys all saw it. So Sesley's just pushing here, just trying to get to Sesley. So I know he's had issues at this corner a couple of times before. And yeah, clearly. Oh yeah, he's just bottomed out off the curb. Oh, oh, that's going to have hurt. Yeah, he's hit the curb. He's hit that curb on the inside, and it's kicked him out. And he's done that before, as I said. That's one of the few large crashes I've seen him have previously. So he's had to bring it into the pits. So he's down into 14th now. He'll lose a good few more positions yet. And that's going to take some repairing. Oh, massively gutting for him. So let's go back up front. Moorman, 8.8 seconds. Further back than Ryan Meenan. Ryan Meenan set his fastest lap of the race on the previous lap, so he's going good guns. He's not holding back here. Max Leonard. He's only 1.7 seconds back though from Jerome, so it's a good fight on for 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Assuming Ryan Meenan doesn't make any silly mistakes. Sesley fighting with okay, that confused the hell out of me. That showed that different car completely there for a second. Yeah, Sesley then got a good lead over Larson, so he looks pretty comfortable there. 13 seconds to the car up front, but 6.5 to the car behind him. So he's in his own little world now on track. Just needs to concentrate for the last 20 minutes. So still a few positions to be had, still some points to be swapping. So there's some gaps that are that's maybe not terribly close, but only 1 second, 1.5 seconds. Especially round leg in that sort of 12-13 spot. We're going to have a look again in a second. Larson going a little bit long there through the triangle. And Brugnara is all over the back of him now. So these two, Beamer and the AMG, coming down towards the line. At the end of lap 18 onto the start of their 19th lap. So will Brugnara pull out there, try to get it down the inside into turn number 1. I think he probably will. He does. Will Larson be able to go for the cutback? They'll both go a little bit wide. Doesn't fancy going for anything there. Sticks it behind. They'll just follow him through. So Brugnara up into 5th spot. Larson now down into 6th. But Brugnara will have to keep his eyes on stalks here. I'm sure Larson will be just waiting for his moment to try and make a move and gain another position back. Got Max and he's got Fitzpatrick and Sousa though not far back at all. Just under 20 minutes to go now. With Aston and the Ferrari in the background there. With the lovely bright glowing Ferris wheel. You can see just how much brighter it is now than it was not long ago in this race. Yeah, so I don't know if you heard me earlier, Smudge, but yeah, really hope you don't. I don't think he will disconnect as well. I think I think we're just a bit unlucky with connection stuff tonight. It wasn't just you. But we'll see, I might be wrong. So 1.6 seconds back to Fitzpatrick. We'll have to keep an eye on and see if that gap changes at all. Go on board with Loic Martin. So about a second behind Martin Legg. Himself pretty close to the back of Marko Kozic for 11th. So they're all on for some fairly solid points here, but they'll want to obviously get as good a position as possible, but not push too hard. If they were to finish here, they'd be pretty happy. I know Loic Martin and Martin Legg would still be getting some solid points. So they don't want to take that for granted. Don't want to push too hard. So Kozic there, you can see in a Ferrari at the front of your picture. So he's got two cars right in behind him. Still 17.5 minutes to go. Martin Legg looking pretty strong in the AMG, you do have to say. So leading amateur driver as well with Loic Martin just in behind him, both in the amateur category. Got a bit further back, a little bit of a touch of doors of these two, but still going strong. So this is Magato with Mav Gardner, no MSL driver, or a little bit of a wiggle out of 130R. That would have put hair on his eyeballs. Keeps it pointing in the right direction. So unlike what Joe recorded earlier, so that's all that matters. Magato in the 22nd at the moment. So Mav Gardner, we've got Sebastian Busch 24th. Joe LaCour now down to 25th, unfortunately, with his slightly battered Audi. Might be able to catch a few cars in front of him, but he would have been in the pits for a while. Dan Loss in the pits as well, so I think he might be toast, unfortunately. Okay, it's not a usual pit, put it that way. So yeah, what happened to him? So we don't know, but yeah, unfortunately either way. So Ryan Moonen keeping that lead up to 9 seconds. Not going to get himself much camera time if he stays that far away from everyone else. Social distancing is just responsible driving, really, in today's environment. But Lino driving well. He said he was looking good last week until his shenanigans at the pit stop. The not knowing where the pit line was, the pit limit line was. Hopefully he's checked that this week. Clearly didn't cause him any problems this week, or they didn't hit the pit board. We've seen people hit the pit board at Zolder before, so it's something that track's a bit more specific for some reason in our races, but yeah, didn't have that issue last time. Clearly doing a bit better this time round. So we want to close that gap. Jerome driving nicely so far. Still in the low 2 minute zeros. 2 minute .270 last lap. About a tenth off his best. Max Lindard on the last lap of 2 minute .6. So a few tenths down. So he's growing that gap is Giron, bit by bit every lap. On board with Brugnara. So he's dropping a little bit now. So he's dropped Larson. Wants to catch Sedgley up ahead. Well, how far ahead though is Sedgley from Brugnara? Let's see from Matthias' car. So can't see him around there. So okay, so you can just about see him in the distance. So he's in view, but you wouldn't say he's any sort of. I mean, whether Sedgley's even aware of where Mattia is, I don't know. He might just about be on the straights. But beyond that, I think he's pretty comfortable at the moment. You shouldn't worry too much. So 14.5 minutes left to go now. It's not been bad. Actually, to be honest, it's not been as exciting as sort of a few others we've had. Last week was probably a fair bit more exciting for all involved. Ryman and Moorman. So, but it's just sometimes it's one of those tracks. But there's plenty of half decent fights still going on. It's quite a mixed ability grid. You get quite a like what they call pro-am grid. It's quite you've got your really quick, a few really quick drivers, some quite quick drivers, some just normal quick. So it's normally for everyone through the grid has some fights to have. Which is awesome. A lot of places you'll see it like tiered leagues and all that, which is great. Takes quite a lot of resource. I'm sure we could do it if we really wanted to, but I think our sort of one league, Pro-Am league, at the moment works pretty well. It gives everyone a chance to race with slightly quicker drivers and try and improve their own craft as well. So Moorman's brought that gap down just a little bit on the last lap. Not a good lap from Killian compared to his previous, but I don't think he'll mind too much at the moment. Feed to Sousa, let's go on board with him. So, again, still pretty close to the back of Fitzpatrick. Matt Axon just up the road in that Aston. So they've still got 13 minutes, and you can see they're not far from him at all. Let's go on board with him. So, Sousa's view, he's got those two positions in front of him are 4 positions, so he'll be feeling pretty excited. Last 12.5 minutes, he's got some racing to be doing. He's got some positions to be chasing. We've had a few disconnects. We had someone, I think, someone's computer blue screened. Their car then disconnected but went all funny on track. That then smacked off another car, so that car had to retire due to damage. But you know, that car, he understands. Oh, that was Dean Thompson. He was like, "Oh, bummer." But he knows it happens. You can do there's nothing Ash could do about that. And we've lost who else more? I think just maybe Kieran Sharp. We might have lost one more. Trying to do the math there. Oh, Daniel Smith. Yeah, Dan Smith disconnected. So he's got a good run out of that final turn. So he's going to try and take a little bit of the slipstream. A little bit of cheeky slipstream. Is that going to get him fully alongside? It is, down into turn number 1. He's got the inside line. Well, Fitzpatrick's going to try and go the long way round. If he can keep the momentum, it might work. Oh, a little tap there, but nothing too bad. Still keeping it pointing in the right direction. Didn't look like it was nothing malicious in that. Just two cars racing very, very closely. So Sousa ahead of Fitzpatrick now up into 8th spot. That Fitzpatrick will now do the hunting. And Sousa will try and catch Acton. So Fitzpatrick will just try and drive along with him here. We'll just try and... yeah, it happens, isn't it? It happens, unfortunately. So just under 11 minutes to go now. So Sousa driving very well. They're a strong team. I'm looking forward to seeing how they fare on Saturday. So they look pretty good. You've got a strong lineup, you'd have to say. Dan Loss, Sousa and Jerome Moorman. I'd fancy them to do pretty well. I think it was Vitor who's starting the race, who seems to be a bit intimidated because he knows how quick Jerome is, and Jerome was qualifying, and Jerome chucks it up into... I think it was very good qualifying. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, Jerome qualified that car up in 3rd. So he's only just under 2 tenths back off of Valentin Barrier's time in the Jardier car. Jardier Community car. So yeah, no mug at all, and yeah, Sousa gets to start that Silverstone race, but the previous one, the Monza race, in 3rd. So yeah, it's going to be fairly close. So we've got quite a few gaps for about a second, maybe 1.5 seconds. We've got a few slightly smaller gaps. We've got Leg. Let's go with Leg. So created a little bit of space for himself now. Ahead of Kozic, so it did look pretty good. Looked quite quick in terms of pace. Has cleared him, and Loic Martin now, and Kozic's fighting. But Leg up in 11th, so he'll be over the moon if he can just hold on to that position for the final 9 minutes. Let's go back on board with the monstrosity that is the purple Jaguar of Andrew Pike. So just behind Lee Cushing's Audi. So try and get another position or two. Don't know how far Sebastian de Wolf is up the road. A little bit too far, I think. 7 seconds. Only 8 minutes 20 seconds left as well. We've got Gerard Ocamp. Ocamp just behind him. Oh, a little bit of a moment off the curb. Saying that, there's a bigger moment for the car behind him. Actually, to be honest, Richard Evans has done magnificently just to avoid the wall on the right there. Looks a bit hairy, but I don't think he'll mind. It's pointing in the right direction, and it's the right way up. The wheels are pointing towards the floor, which is frankly all you want in that situation. Keep it out of the wall. Don't flip it. I don't think I've seen a car flip it on here. That would be a hell of an achievement. Couple with Matt Axton, how's he faring? Up in 7th, just at the his best lap of the race, 2:08.864. So trying to close that gap up to Christopher Larson. I think a bit unlikely. 4.2 seconds, a bit of a gap there. The car up ahead is the black mark on it. That's Dan Lofts. There it is. So not gone well for him today, unfortunately. So not had the luck his teammates have had. Not quite sure what Dan's pace is usually, but I'm pretty sure it's fairly decent, so I don't think he'd normally be around here. A bit more gravel there as well, so yeah, not having a fun time of it. Don't know if he's had a bit of damage as well, that's not going to help. Keeps it off the track nicely as much as he can do there. Cars behind could see him, so that's all he can ask for. So that's actually him letting his teammate through, I think. Let's see how Sedgley's doing. Sedgley's still in a world of his own, and by the looks of things, 19 seconds behind 3rd spot. 2.4 ahead of Brignara. You can see actually Brignara just behind him. Not much of a gap between them, so does want to be a little bit careful. Any half decent run off into the gravel, and Brignara is close enough to take that spot. So still a top 4 would yield some good points. So hopefully a nice strong end to the race for him. Going to ball with Loic Martin now, racing right in behind Marco Kozic there. The Aston and the Ferrari gets on the throttle nice and early, has to lift just a little bit. Was a bit worried, I think, there of chucking that into the gravel or just clipping. At speed, high speed corner like that, you touch the gravel or a curb at the wrong angle, it can easily kill you. You have to be careful around 130R, especially if you've got not enough slipstream due to the car in front giving you some dirty air. So neither of them quite nailing 130R there, as they'd maybe like to. Get around Cassio's triangle and then down towards the line again. 5.5 minutes to go. Good exit there. To take as much slipstream as you can, then he'll pull alongside. We'll lose that slipstream obviously. We'll still get a little bit of that effect from alongside him. Still get a side draft. We'll have that inside line coming into turn 1. Does he pull ahead? Oh yeah, he does. His I think Kozic there takes a little bit of avoiding action. Wasn't sure. I think like getting a little bit twitchy just as he came into the first turn. But I think he just touched the curb, or Marco maybe got a little bit wiggly of his own accord. But still 12th and 13th, so that moves up a position. Martin Legg up still in 11th, going strong. We've got Bas Tolsma, the car rounding out the top 10 at the moment. That Bentley, he's taking it well round here today. A little bit off the guys up front, but again picking up good points. Just consistency is what brings a good finish in the standings. Not if you win a few races but you finish basically at the back or DNF in a few, then it really doesn't matter. If you finish 10th in every race, you're going to put yourself in a pretty decent spot. So Sousa closing up to the back essentially, who's himself actually closing quite well up to the back of Matt Acton. So Acton might be getting a little bit twitchy right now. You know, let's go on board with the full cockpit view. Let's see the whole steering wheel input and everything. So, helmet cam, if you would, from Vitor. So this is what he will see. So Sensi just up ahead. Matt Acton just going over the line now. Just a bit further down the road. So Vitor's definitely closed that gap. That gap has definitely got smaller. But Matt Acton might just be enough up the road, might just be far enough ahead to shield these two from getting past him. You can see him just coming through the corner there. Can't miss his brightly coloured car. So Cecily will have to get on the defensive pretty shortly. Let's go on board with Cecily now. So that Lambo up in 7th. So a solid drive as always with Dan. Very quick driver. So all these drivers up top are pretty rapid. And it just depends how your race goes sometimes. And where you qualify and your track position at the start. And, yeah, races can go in many directions. Those front three quite a way ahead. Let's see where Jerome is. So just come up to a back marker. So he's got Magato just ahead to pass. But quite a way off of the lead car, 6 and a bit seconds. So I think Ryan Mina may be lifting off a little bit now. Brignard getting past Sebastian Busch, that is. For another blue flag situation. We'll go a little bit wide though out of 130R, I think. Not the nicest line he had to take. They got let go a little bit late, I don't know. We would have wanted to come across there and not take the inside line through 130R, I'm sure. So that would have cost him a little bit of time, but I don't think Brignard is really going to have much ambition of catching Jerome anyways. Where is Jerome? Yes, Jerome's much further down the road, so it wouldn't have really cost anything for Mattia. Larson up in the 5th. Cracking racing from him so far. Matt Acton just behind. There's little LED strips working the treat in this weather, in these light conditions. And we've got Sousa and Sesley taking a slightly defensive line then, coming into turn number 1. Sousa going slightly wide entry to bring him back towards the apex. But Sesley not in to defend too much yet. So there's not that many opportunities to get past. He knows Sousa will have to sit in behind on many of these corners, but when it comes to certain couple of spots on track where he might want to get a good jump out of the previous corner, he'll just need to make sure he focuses on his own speed and doesn't defend too hard. Otherwise you just compromise yourself. And then it can all go very, very wrong very quickly. So yeah, just want to keep it solid, these two. So a minute left until the checker flag comes out. Where is Ryan Meenan? So he's just come around to finish his lap. So when he comes over the line in a minute, he will come round to start his final lap. So still setting some great lap times. Setting some good pace. Lead of 14 seconds back to Max Lienard. As the pit crew were about to tell you, he's about to start his last lap.
Leaders on final lap now.
See, told you. I wish I could turn that off, but it's useful to know sometimes when you're rabbiting away with the fairies. Then, yeah, it's good to know. So Mormon, yeah, 7.4 seconds back from Leonard. So those front three look like they are as they will finish. Saying that, sorry, no, Brugnara. So we could have a go at Mormon here. So Mormon. So that is Mormon. That's Dan Loft. This is the problem with those liveries. You're thinking, which one is that? That then is Dan Loft, I'd assume. No, it's not. That is. There's too many of you guys in this race. Mav Gardner? That's Mav Gardner. Right, cool. Worked it out in the end. Too many of the same livery. It's very confusing. Right, this is Cecily. That definitely is Vitor Sousa, though. Cecily's going to not really go very much further left than that. He's going to want to keep that entry all his. He's going to want that inside line to himself. Might drift out a little bit wide. That will force Vitor wide as well. Vitor wants a little bit of side by side here. Wants to stop Cecily being able to pull ahead. He knows that there's not really much opportunity to overtake now for a good few corners. But he slots in. Let's see where Ryan Meaning is. So a little bit more in his lap to go, but not far. So just one more car looks like he might have to pass at back marker. Gets out of the way, nicely done. Lee Cushing there. Very aware. Leader coming through. Will not want to get in his way. So Killian, just a couple more corners to go now. Just 130R and then the Casio Triangle through the right to the final corner. 130R is one of those corners that can always bite. So you do have to focus. Make sure you concentrate. Coming up through the triangle. Nice and low speed. Huge lead he's got already now anyways. So another imperious drive from Killian there, the Sidemax Motorworks driver in the number 211 AMG comes across the line and will take another superb victory. Well done, Killian. Fully deserved from start to finish. Congratulations. Max Leonard, after the promise he showed last week. Not sure why he's flashing his lights there, maybe letting another driver through. But he should come over the line in second spot. So I don't know if he had an issue with the back marker there, but he'll come across the line in second. Well done there to Max. Jerome Mormon will take third. Well done to him. Fully deserved. Brugnara. He's going to take fourth spot, so he dropped back a little bit towards the end. But again, another good finish for him. Takes fourth. Christopher Larson come around down to the line as well. Will take fifth. Matt Acton, look how close it is behind them. Matt Acton just behind them there. Taking sixth spot. Well done to him. Dan Sedgley. So where is Vitor Sousa? Ah, there he is. So Vitor must have pushed hard on that last couple of corners. And didn't quite go right for him, but clearly he's had a go. Tried to make a move. Not quite worked out for him. Fitzpatrick right in behind him will take ninth. Bas Tolsma. So we're all fairly close, you see, after an hour. They're not too spread out. They were pretty much still coming across the line one after the other. Martin Legg comes across the line. He will be absolutely ecstatic at that. It's a great finish from him. 11th spot. First AM in the order today. Well done to him. Loic Martin, also AM driver, comes home in 12th. Solid finish from him as well. Well done to you, Loic. Marko Kozic coming home in 13th. Well done. It's a good drive in there. Said not too far back from someone like Killian. Over an hour. I think they should be pretty happy with that. Pelicano coming over the line. He takes 14th. We've got Ian Hall. His Porsche in no rush to get over the line. Will come home in 15th if he doesn't let one of the drivers behind get past. It's a bit close if he does fanny about. He does, so I'm not sure what he's doing there. I think he's run out of fuel there. I think he's lost a position, but he has finished the line. So he lost 15th by about a second in the end, but like about a metre. I think he's run out of fuel, or he's pretty much running out of fuel, because that was very slow for a long, long way there. He's going to get a little bit of a help round by the looks of things. From teammate Andrew Pike coming home in 17th. Ocamp in 18th. Evans 19th. Lee Cushing coming home in 20th. Joe LaCour, after his incident earlier on, coming home in 21st. Magato 22nd. Mav Gardner 23rd. Radu 24th. We've got Thomas Martin in 25th. David Daly in 26th. We have Dan Lofts. So last driver round. Evening Jerome. Evening man. Yeah, this could have been close. So Dan Lofts there coming over the line. So we had a few DNFs in the race today. A few disconnects. A couple damage induced Reece Williams with his obvious hardware problem. We had Gledel blue screen. I know Smith disconnected. Thompson had the issue. I know Sharp had a problem as well. So not sure if there was more DNS or we had 29 finish. Maybe a couple left. Not sure. Let's have a look. Let's go to the timetables. Go to the race. This is the race. So not sure. So it looks like only 4 DNFs. So God knows. Maybe a couple left early after they finished the race. So well done, though. Killian wins by 17.7 seconds in the end. Absolutely commanding a victory. Oh, you dear, oh dear. Yeah, easy, but again, it's racing, isn't it, Jerome? The sort of mistakes that can happen. So much to concentrate on. And oh, there's a happy legger. Finished in 11th, and very much is cock a hoop by the looks of things. Yeah, I mean, clearly you look good. You look great. Well, superb driving, Killian. Well done. Thank you so much, Leg. 500 cheers. Awesome support as always. Very kind man. But yeah, Killian coming home there for 2 wins in 2. So pretty much certain to take the spoils for hottest lap as well. Would not be surprised if that's pretty comfortably yours, Killian. Oh, Killian, you got a gifted sub earlier, by the way, from RWB Jagged. So none of that, none of the annoying adverts when you do tune in. Will indeed. So yeah, superb driving there. So Leonardo will be happy with that after last week, not quite going his way with the pit stop issues. Jerome, again, another great finish from Jerome. He got where he finished last week, 4th. So a third and a 4th he'll be pretty happy with. Brignara coming 4th this week, so 3rd and a 4th. Him and Mormon and Brignara should be on the same points. They've both had a 3rd and a 4th in the championship so far. Christopher Larson up into 5th. Great driving from him. Again, only 3.1 back as well from Brignara. Acton just 2.5. You can see the gaps after that weren't that big off, considering it was an hour-long race. Sedgley just keeping Sousa behind. I think Sousa going for something on the final lap. Maybe it didn't quite work out for him, but you decided to, you know, if you're going to go for it, you go for it. Oh, wow. So, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, I think you've got a good shout for hottest lap. I'm sure I'll know once we get the results in later on. And if Fitzpatrick and Tolson are bringing it home in the top 10, they'll be pretty happy with that again. That, you know, weren't far back off the pack. They didn't have too many issues. They're a minute back, but you know those front 3 do skew those times a little bit. Just almost ignore them. No offence, Killian, but you know you're different gravy and all that. Fitzpatrick and Tolson, though, yeah, pretty happy with top 10. I'm sure. Martin Legg will be ecstatic with his 11th spot. Superb drive from him there. Just ahead of Loic Martin, the 2 leading drivers. Kozic in 13th, Pelicano taking 14th. Sebastian DeWolf 15th. Let's drift down a bit there. Ian Hall 16th in his Porsche. Andrew Pike in that monstrosity of a Jag in 17th position. Gerhard Ocamp in 18th. Cheers for that.
Green light, green light. Go, go, go.
Hall coming home in 19th. Yeah, so see, this is what I mean. Race. Stop doing it. There we go. It's like Legg didn't finish in 20th. So Lee Cushion coming home 20th. Yeah, Joe LeCour with his issue, obviously at 130R, stacked it into the wall. The second time I've seen him do that now, so clearly not his favourite corner. Comes home in 21st. Cheers, Jerome. Look forward to Saturday, man. Catch you then. Yeah, Magato 22nd. Mav Gardner coming home in 23rd, just ahead of Sebastian Busch. Zamfir Radu in 25th. Dennis Deutsch in 26th. Thomas Martin in 27th. David Daly 28th. Dan Lofts, the last finisher of them all, in 29th. And then we had Sharp, Thompson, Smith, Gledel as DNFs, and then Reece Williams, I think, did not start due to a hard drive failure. Poor thing. Boss man, don't you start. Cheers, Killian. Yeah, looking forward to it. Catch you then, man. Yeah, but great drives from quite a few drivers there. So not the easiest track conditions. I don't think there were too many incidents really. I'm sure there will have been a few, but considering the conditions that they were driving in, looked pretty clean at the start. Whether there was some stuff later on, who knows? But the start is always the main worry. So fair play to them for getting around nice and cleanly then. Just at least it makes you relax a little bit if you see a clean start, for sure. So yes, thank you everyone for joining in for that race. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week we are at, let's find out, we are at Misano for round number 3. So that's always an interesting circuit, a bit strict on the track limits. But yeah, round 3 at Misano. The week after we're at Silverstone for a 90-minute race. We have 2 90-minute races in this championship, which is week 4 and then the final week, week 8. The week 8 being Spa, 90-minute race. So just an extra half an hour, so always just a larger pit window right in the middle, so we'll be a bit more strategy in that, probably a bit of refuelling as well. So the only thing they have to do is a tyre change. So yeah, should be good. Not sure if I'm going to be able to stream tomorrow's evaluation race, unfortunately, for the race from BMW 235 I-League. But yeah, second evaluation race of 2, and then the league gets started a week tomorrow. So don't think I'm going to be able to stream tomorrow night, unfortunately, but if I can, I will be doing so. Yes, then Saturday afternoon, just early on, just a bit before the race, a little bit of lead-in time. Qualifying, that was last week. The race will be starting at 2:10 after they all have a 30-minute warm-up. So yes, around 2:10 start, and should be 50 cars on the grid. Really looking forward to that. It's going to be pretty awesome with live stewarding and all that good stuff. So yeah, do tune in then if you can. I'll be back on Monday with Automobilista 2. That will be the penultimate round. That is from Alton Park Classic in that sprint race, the sprint race car on AMS2. So do join in then as well if you can. It's great to watch. AMS2 is a cracking game. It's only going to get better and better. So I think it's a good old league to watch. Some great driving, good fighting to be had in that. And then next Tuesday, I'm back on Project Cars 2 on Xbox to watch round number 3 at Imola. So yeah, looking forward to that as always. Always good racing in that league. Small grids, but very, very close. Very, very close pace all throughout the grid. And then yeah, next Thursday back here for round number 3 at Misano. So yeah, hopefully you will all join me then. But yeah, as always, I really appreciate the support tonight and keeping me company in the chat. It's been very much appreciated. Thank you for the new follows, subs, gifted subs, and the cheers. Very kind of you all. So yes, I will catch you again most likely on Saturday afternoon for a 6-hour race here. Like I said, the OTL 6 hours of Monza, our second endurance event. Really looking forward to it. So do join me then. I will be in the commentary booth for the entire 6 hours. So if you could keep me company, that would be much obliged. The odd break to quickly get something to sustain me through and get some more drink. But other than that, I will be sat here for the whole 6 hours. So I'm probably going to get quite a numb bum. But yeah, fingers crossed my mouth keeps working. That's all that matters. So yeah, cheers everybody. Thanks as always. I will catch you again on Saturday at 2 p.m. GMT. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful Friday and wonderful Thursday evening, of course. I will catch you soon. Take care, everyone. See you soon. And goodbye.